Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm working mostly on stuff that was already on my desktop and then a few things I grabbed. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing for sure. I want to layer a few things together and I want to put a photo on top. I've never tried that exact style. I'm usually doing something a little bit different. These were some things I had out recently for a project last night. I don't know if I'll use that. If I do, it'll just be for an accent somewhere. But I found this paper that I used a little piece of last night that's from 1911. So that's a good vintagey background type thing. And then I have these 3 photos to choose from. If I use this, I'll chop it down a little bit, but I really love this. And then this was a postcard I've had for a while. And then this is kind of like a found photo. But I just have a collection of other things I found that I might want to use in it. I've got, that's a scrap off of something. That's some kind of a doily. I got this a while back, and I haven't cut it up yet, but I really want to use a piece of this. It's a shirt from the thrift store, but I got it because I really love this lace here. I love these ones with the little delicate designs. You get the dots and the lines and all that stuff, and I like the sheer. So if I use this, I'll probably use a piece of that somewhere. It'll probably be more on an upper layer, but here's some more doily type things. Oh, that was some rusted fabric strips I tore off of something. And then if I want to go grungy, and I don't know if I will, but I had rusted this, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and I put something in there at the end that discolored this and turned it to this dark color. I can't remember what it is, but I must have had a chemical reaction. But I've been using it for grungy stuff because I think it's neat. I don't know that I will necessarily use it in this, but it was out and I used it recently, so it's a possibility. And then I've got this out. I might throw this on there. I just bought a bunch of these variety of book plates. So there's some ideas. Let me get organized and kind of figure out a game plan. My other idea was to possibly put a frame on this, but I don't know with my big photos that that's going to happen. So let me kind of get my idea together and then I'll be right back. I do want a frame. What I decided to do is I wanted to go with this picture because this one is, for me personally, screams mixed media. It's the, I don't know, the artistry or something. It's the fact that it's got these long, 2 tall walls here and that dark framing her. So I'm saving this for mixed media, I decided. So I'm going to use this other one because this is more like what I'd want to put in a junk journal. But I've been dying to use these vintage flashcards. They're not like any I've ever had. These are actually square or almost square. They are very large. They would probably not work in a normal size book, but they will work in mine. Because these are like, I don't know, maybe 5.75 by 5.75. They're just under 6 inches. But I really like it, but it's too short for what I want because that's the height of my thing. So, and I just laid this out to get an idea, but what I really want to do is make a new top for it. One that's going to be cut separately. I'm going to paper these to some degree. And I'm not using this one. I think it's unattractive, but I'm going to try to alter the shape and somehow get a curved shape that comes down to this to connect to make it look like an extra wide but short tag. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use this scrap I had laying here. I'm not really a fairy person, but I just want something I don't care about that I can cover with paper. So I'm going to cut a new top on this. I will angle these tops probably, but I need to have something that makes it come down and connect to this. And I was thinking about a shape. I think these are for quilting, but I use them for cutting out shapes. Actually, I'm not sure any of these shapes work, so let me think about what I want to do. I think I've used this one before. Oh, this one. This is one I want. A lot of times I use this one. It slopes in here. So I'll cut this out first and get the general shape. So first I'm going to cut this the width of the card. Because what I was going to do is get the shape cut and then I'm going to do something to attach it on here so it is clear that it's a afterthought attachment. I just think it would be interesting. This will probably be a giant journaling card, because I saw someone who did a giant journaling cards in their book because they had a nice oversized book like me. And I was like, that's what I like. I hope that's even. I don't know if it is. Okay, that's where the top of my card's going to... That is where the top part... I'll trim this part down later, but I want to get the top of it shaped. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is figure out, I guess, where the center of this thing is. I'm going to paper this, but I want to get the shape cut first. I'm not good at math, by the way. That's why I don't do things I got to measure. Oh, I'm going to paper it. I'll just cheat. I'm going to paper it anyway, so I'll just fold it, or at least crease the top so I can see where it is going to fall. Because for me, that's the easy cheater method, because then I don't have to worry about my measurements. That's my center. Now I want to square this. I want the top straight. Flat, I mean. So I'll do that. So I'm going to leave that part straight, and then I need to figure out my edge from here to here. Yeah, I think this will be okay. I'm trying to think. Okay. So I will do the cheater part like you do on tags, and I'll cut this out, and then I think I can just flip it over and get the other side the same shape. Okay, it goes this way, so then I should be able to flip it this way. Oh, I'll use the pencil, because I'm telling you, I don't think I want to cut around this curvy shape without it. Yeah, this looks right. Yeah, then I don't like this part, so I'm just going to trim it a little bit shorter. To me, it feels a little bit too steep. But this part is more for decoration anyway. Okay. It's different. I don't think I'm going to cut anything off of this. I'm just going to paper it now. I want... Oh, that's right. I need 2 pieces. I'm going to paper the back, even though it's the back, because I like to have it kind of consistent. But this is a... I don't usually do thin cardstock. I just like something with some heft to it. So the extra paper will kind of help stabilize the back of it, I think. I'll just glue the pink paper down. Because I'm too lazy to look for something different. Oh, it feels like it's sticking over here. I'm going to edge this with my favorite gathered twigs. Oops. This is the pad that I think is starting to dry out a little bit. Now I want to figure out what to do to the base card. I don't usually like covering these completely up because they are flashcards and I think they're interesting. So I will figure out which I'm going to add lace, and of course there'll be that photo there too. So okay. Before I do that, because I don't know what parts are going to be bare, I'm going to edge this because the edge might end up showing. This part won't. I'll cover that up, which the image will cover part of it, but I want to not have that big cutout there, so I'll fix that. Trim this. Oh, I was going to cover the back, but it's a flash card, so I guess I don't have to. I'll leave the back of this, I think, the way it is, but I'll edge it so that if you flip it over, it looks decent. Oh, I didn't edge that side, I guess, where that raw edge is showing. Okay, I'll do that. I think this paper's actually pretty decently strong for 1911. Actually, I have papers that are much newer, vintage papers much newer, and they disintegrate. So I don't know what they made this out of, but it was a calendar. It was meant to, I guess it was meant to hang on your wall. So it's very thin by today's standards, but it is pretty decent for paper that's over 100 years old. At a certain point, I got to figure out how I'm going to attach it. I kind of want to use eyelets or brads for the hardware look, but I'll have to figure out the photo and how I'm going to do it. I keep seeing it on the left. I guess it could be in the middle or on the right, but I tend to go off center of things. I actually might trim this down too. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, got that, got this. Ooh, that looks neat. So I'm going to glue this down. This won't hold awesome, but I'm going to actually use, I think I'll use brads. So I will put glue on this. I just need it to get good enough to hold it. Oh, I didn't mean to go down that far with the glue. I just want to hold it, get it on there good enough to get my holes and brads in there. Okay, let me get my holes and I'll be right back. I got 5, but I spilled my entire container of brads, which was huge. So I will be cleaning up brads off the floor for years to come, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to put these in there, but what I was thinking about is if I decide I want to stitch this stuff, I will, because these are brads, I can take them out. If I want to layer other things and then run the brads through fabrics, or if I want to stitch this across here also, I can take the brads out and put them back in. I really wanted the brads for the hardware look, I guess. So, but I'm going to put these in for now so it'll hold it on there while I figure out the rest of my design here. And after this is done, I'll cover this with something. As you can see, they're not all the same. I like the vintage ones. I got a huge lot of these off of eBay one time. They're not all vintage, but a lot of the ones I have are. I bought a huge lot on eBay one time that was these brass ones that were all tarnished, and they were from the 70s. I was like, those will last me the rest of my life, but I don't think they will because I've used quite a few, actually. I've got little mini ones, and they're so cute, but they don't work for hardly anything I do because I'm usually going through thicker stuff. So anyway, they don't all match, but they're neat. I kind of like that look. Okay. Now I want to figure the rest of this out. I need some layers, because here's was part of my issue. I don't know if I want to cover the brads up with this photo. Although if I stitch this on here and decide to cover some of these up, I'll probably just take the brads out because the stitching will hold it. I'm just kind of putting where I think they would look neat, evenly spaced there. So I might do this. But I also want, I'm laying this out, but I want some papers or something underneath here. And I really want to do a frame and have it catty corner. But I need something underneath here. So let me see how I would do this. All right, now let's see what I got. I actually want it shorter. Because I really want a few layered things. That's why I think shorter might be okay. It actually even looks okay that way. But I feel like I need at least one more thing. Oh, there was something else I saw. Oh, I have my frame. Oh, and I wanted a little bit of fabric and lace too, so. When I was in the other room, I found this in my scrap pile. It's part of an old vintage ledger. I've been using off of this for like 15 years. Okay, let me have... I'm going to start tearing this because I want it a little bit more narrow. But I just thought I would see if I could tear it semi-straight. And then this looks old. I don't know how old it is, but the print looks old-timey, but it also looks old, but maybe not, because they wouldn't have made postcards back in that day. Now this is the trick, because I doubt... Oh, I know what I could try. I might look for a sanding block. All right, I found a sanding block. I'm going to try to distress it a little bit. It's kind of shiny. That was part of my thinking, but it also will make it look old. This is probably a new postcard. But it should still distress. I've distressed all kinds of stuff. Interesting. It is taking the shine down, but it's not necessarily doing anything to the girls, it doesn't look like. I don't know. I think it took some shine off, though. I was trying to get a little bit of scratchy marks, which I can see if I look up close, but I don't actually know if this will show up. Oh, it kind of does. Okay. I'm not very familiar with this. VersaFine Clair. I had a VersaFine pad I used years and years ago. It's still good, actually. But I've never used the ones called VersaFine Clair. And these are newer ones. But I used it the other day on paper and it worked awesome. It still looks kind of shiny here. So I'm hoping it will dry on here. I don't want to hit with a heat gun, because I know this is glossy and it's probably just going to warp and buckle and make me upset. I think I figured out my design. So I went ahead and glued this vintage ledger down to this, and then I took two of those little square medallions off of this doily. This is the way my mind works. Oh, so this part, it's just part of the digital, but I like that really distressed look where it looks like the ink ran or got sanded off. So I kind of want to leave that showing. So I'm going to stitch some things down. What I ended up, oh, you know what? I didn't stitch across the top yet. Did I? Let me go stitch that. I'll be right back. What I did is I stitched across this. That'll hold those together for now. Well, maybe forever, I guess. I'm going to glue these things down. What I was going to do is put this on the edge. I'll trim it up afterwards, but I'm going to position it. I'm going to position this so that, and I keep looking at this. It's really hard to tell which is the top. It looks like this is sitting on top of the tool, so I think that's the top. Anyway, I'm going to get this down there, and I'm going to make sure that this hole on the outside, so the only brads are going to actually show the outside one, so I'm just going to leave the other holes empty, because this will be covering it. And then I'm going to position it so that this hole goes through the tool, because then I can just poke a hole in there, and then run my brad through this. So let me glue these down, because this is really what I want to do next. I want to glue these things down, and I'll put the brads in last, because I do want to go ahead and stitch around the outside, but for now I went ahead and stitched across that middle piece at least. Oh, and then I got to figure the frame out too. My frame is one of those altered ones. I think this predates the Tim Holtz ones, but this was from that they probably still have them, that 49 Market line. They had come out with those stitched frames, and ever since they came out with them, I've been obsessed with frames. So I like the stitching, but they make it neutral, and I'm using pink thread, so it probably won't be over the same lines, but I'm just going to add some pink stitching on this. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to stitch that to this, but maybe just stitch it and glue it. but I'm going to see what I think after I get these on there. But the other layers I will put down, and I will stitch along the outsides as I stitch around this. And we'll put this, and I want to keep this part so this shows, because that was the part that makes me happy. And I'll make sure that hole and that hole shows. Okay. I don't use paper and lace very often, so this feels weird to me. It's usually fabric and lace. Well, I guess I do use paper and little bits of lace sometimes, but okay, I was going to put this on there. But I want to do, so I went and it was a piece of this, and I just had small scraps, so I cut them in strips, and I stitched them back together to make a ruffle. You know what? I don't know which side's the top. The thread looks almost identical. I think this is the top. This looks more brighter, I guess. But I was going to put this... Oh, I think it's the right size already. I'm just going to put it across the top of that photo, I think. So I want to put this... I want to put these in the corners. Here's where I always get cheap. I hate wasting this stuff, so I lay it how I think I want it, and then sometimes I cut a piece off, but there's quite a bit of that showing, so maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I don't need to trim that one down. Glue that. Of course, there will be stitching through this along the edges, so, and this will be over top of that, although I might stitch, I don't know, I might actually stitch through that photo. To give it more, to make sure it stays down, I guess, without peeling up. Well, that one didn't stay down awesome, but it's going to be stitched through anyway. Okay. There's that piece. This will go on here. And then this one, instead of putting it in the very corner, I was thinking about having it hang down in the center of this thing. Yeah, maybe like that. This one I will trim just a little bit off. I can use it on a snippet roll. Now, I can never tell how to line it up until I get the photo back on there. Go like that. Like that. Like this. Okay. Well. Okay. Then I'll glue this down. I'll try this in the center, but it might not be strong enough. So I'll also go around the edges with the Fabri-Tac here. But I think I am going to stitch this, at least to some degree. Oh, I guess that part doesn't matter. I forgot it's going to have a ruffle on it. Oh, this is what I need to do. I need to figure this part out. Because if there's a ruffle on it... Oh, it doesn't go that way. I want it... The other option is to put this on the top of the frame. I am off center. It's kind of the centerpiece. I do like this part, but I think when I get done, I think I should add a ribbon on here. Oh, wait. I can't do that. I just remembered. This goes on here. So I have to figure this out. This is part of my design. Yeah, I think I have to glue this part first. Let's see. Let me get my hole lined up, because otherwise it's not going to work right. My hole's right here. Okay, I got that. I do this. Yeah, I definitely want to stitch through that corner. I don't remember how I had it before. Maybe it's because this wasn't on there. I feel like that would have to be up a little bit higher. I actually might cut that ruffle down less. Okay. I think I can do this, but I need to cut this down. This being the same exact length of this is not working. I think it should be an accent piece where it's more like in the center of that frame. Let me see what length I think I should make this. Okay. Oh. Okay, well, it might be shorter than I thought because I pulled the stitches out. Okay, we'll go more like that. I'm going to glue these things. I want to stitch this, and I might just stitch it to the card, but I want stitching through this first so that I make sure I hold this edge down. So I will, actually, I'm going to go all the way around the outside, and then I think I'm going to go like this. Or maybe I'll just cut through here where it tore and go across this way. And then I will put this down, and I'll probably stitch it to the card also. I still could add this if I want. Oh, I didn't put my... Oh, wait a minute. Guess what I did? Now where am I going to put my brads? I got everything covered up. I might just run it through here because I'm going to have to repunch my hole, it looks like. I went ahead and did all the stitching now. Although I'm still tempted to put a label on there. I could still do it. I'm going to do a little bit of finishing work off camera, and then I'll post a picture, but I'm going to repunch those holes and put, because it looks like I covered up my hole with this, even though I left this, but I'll just go ahead and repunch that hole, put my 2 brads in, and then I have a little metal clip. I'm going to put that maybe up here somewhere. I might clip something on with it, but I really want the hardware look, I guess. And then I might make a little label and stick in here and then run some little mini brads through this. So, and then I think it'll be done. So anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. If you haven't, please hit like and subscribe if you like my videos. And thank you so much for watching.